right, I'm good to go. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. This is our Decisions Lunch and Learn. My name is Brandon Roberts, and I'll be hosting it today. Today, we're going to start with a pre-submitted question from Caleb, and I see Caleb has joined us. Um, he has a question about using report context ID. Adrian, can we take Caleb off mute so we can go a bit more into what he's trying to use it for? I'm going to share my screen, and we can sort of walk through this together. So we should be able to see my decisions, screen of decisions here. And I grabbed this flow to start us off. Let's see. Caleb, I think you should be off mute. Could you go a bit more into what you're trying to accomplish here?
Yeah, so I'm pretty much just trying to go about setting up groups as we get the logged in user. So I want to group by myself if I'm logged in, but then I would like to group by a different username if somebody else is logged in some of our reports. So I was just looking into using these some of these report service steps to go about doing that.
Okay. Is there a reason we're not using just the filters on the group on the report itself?
So we have the reporting structure is what we're going off of for our organization. So, like if we have a team lead logs in, we'd like them to look at just their team members. But if we have a department head, we need that scope to be a little bit larger and to not. So, like if we group by the department head last, and then we go and use the drill down function, um, it ends up looking funny for the team lead when they're logged in since they're a few steps down the hierarchy, if that makes sense.
Okay. So what step are you using for your grouping? So we have a get report context step.
So I was just trying to uh, get the grouped columns, like that get grouped columns inside the report service. Um, and the report context ID is where I was getting hung up. I can get the report ID, but I'm not positive what the report context ID is supposed to be. And when I'm using the report ID, I'm getting an error calling the method get grouped columns.
Okay. Get group column. So it looks like it's using report context ID. So we have a get report context, which uses the ID of the report and the actual folder ID. I think this might be what you need here.
Okay.
Let's test it out real quick. So close it and I'll create a report, grouped column testing here. And I'll just grab account data source. Let's grab account ID. Let's grab email address and grab created by. Okay. Save this here. And now we've got a report. Just going to copy this folder ID. So element registration will be the report ID. No, actually, that's the folder ID. Oops. And just get the report ID. Okay, so then we have the report context ID. Just that, here we are. Just gonna debug it, see if I get a failure. Oh, I'm getting this on the report context ID. Here, oh, limit rows. We'll just do 10. Okay, yeah, that should work. Right now, I don't have any group columns, but using the get report context step prior to that should get you the context ID. You just need to get the element registration ID, which is the ID of the report, the
Mhm.
folder that it lives in, and you'll just need to set the limit on the rows.
Awesome. I'll give that a go. I appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. Uh, looks like, let's see. We have some questions and some hand raises. I'll start with the question first from Nancy. I have an advanced data grid on a form with data from a case entity. I have right-click user actions that allow changing information for that case entity row. My change only occurs as I want in the case entity, but now how do I get the updates to redirect in the advanced data grid on the form in which I select the action? For example, if I use a sub dialog flow from the form, I then I can use a change value of the grid with the update. I prefer to use a right click action for this situation, but I haven't figured out how to change the values entity data that's displayed in the advanced data grid in which to select the right click user action from. Okay. So we have an advanced data grid on the form, and we're sending changes to the data that the advanced data grid uses, but we aren't able to actually refresh the advanced data grid. Let's take a look at that. I'm gonna grab a form, going to create something. Let's do some form, punch and learn form one. Go to button, we'll do advanced data grid here, do single select, and let's go ahead and just use count again. Let's see, counts to test. Okay, and selected account. Go ahead and edit this. We'll do the same thing. Account ID, see, email address, created on date, and I will give it, where is that? A first name. Okay, save this, and I'll use a fetch entities step here. Okay, so we have that built out, at least the first portion of it. Now, in your case, you're using a right click action on your case. Hmm. Oh, I'd have to build an action for that. We could, if it's an advanced data grid, I wonder if we can use some of these internal reporting steps for it. Let me double check real quick. Internal services, reporting service, get report context, moved column, place data, report has changes, save reports with properties. Hmm. Oh, I wonder if we can. We'd have to refresh. I think this may be possible depending on how we're sourcing the data for your case entity. We'd have to, We have output data name. I wonder if we can use, we have an active form flow, right? Date accounts, or say refresh accounts. Edit rule, okay. You fetch again. Oh wait, you know what? Is it under? No, form rules. Update, update. Control or data. Good. Set this to ignore. It might take a little bit more to prove out, but I think this could work. Is Nancy on the call today? Yeah, Adrian, could you, yeah. Hey, Nancy, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'm thinking this could work. So what I did was just use an active form flow to just set the control value on the entity results. We're gonna need to refetch that data, repopulate that data to actually do a refresh. I'm thinking we have to have some way to send that data back to the form, and this might be the way to do it. Um, let me let me try this real quick. Account might not be the best type for me to test this with. Let me see if I can spin up a case real quick. Do this. I'll just do hometown. Okay, and then we see the user action, create user action, date, hometown. Should be fine. Then I actually create some data. Okay, let me create one other one. And then one more. Okay, so now we have some cases. Let me reconfigure this. These. Okay, so then triggers. Let's see. I think we can. Let's see if selection change will work. Okay, it took a little longer than I expected. Okay, so then what did I do wrong? Did I finish that action? I'm sorry, guys. No, that doesn't. The folder ID should be the same as the extension ID. So then, yep. So it seems to be working. Okay, so back to here. Yeah, actions show up on left and right. So I should be seeing.
Hit the
Oh,
show actions.
sorry about that. Okay, so suffix. So I'm gonna, yeah, there we go. I mean, this case ID doesn't seem to, I messed up the case ID, but using, it looks like just setting the set value control or set control value on the actual advanced data grid should work.
Um,
D does that help? Is that what you're looking for, Nancy?
can you close that for a second? You went
Yeah.
through a number of things there. Um,
So
that's
I can,
you created a you just created an active form flow that,
mhm.
and when will that trigger?
Right now I have it set on the selection of the advanced data grid itself. So when the selection change is, it should refresh.
Okay. All right, I'll try that.
Alrighty. And I see Radley, you have your hand up. If you want to come off mute, you should be able to speak now.
Yeah, hey Brandon. Um, in both my dev and prod environments, when I go to my apps,
Mhm.
in my folder structure, in the applications tab, I have no apps there.
Hmm. Is there anything built in the My Apps folder? Because what'll happen, what can happen if you build a flow or create a flow, and I've seen it kick to the list stop. Do you see the App Store at all?
I do see the App Store. Yep, I have the
Hmm.
App Store option up across top there, like you.
Hmm.
Um, now I did install the Access Manager yesterday in dev, um, but I've not done that in production. And then, like I said, I'm not seeing any apps in either environment.
Hmm. Let me install this real quick, see if I can recreate it. So Access Manager installing. Okay, yeah. And that's what I expect to see. You get kicked here, but you're not getting any. Do you get any error messages like error contacting the App Store or anything like that?
I don't. I haven't checked any logs though. I didn't know.
Hmm. Yeah, I would check logs there because normally like we contact our App Store. I think it's in GitHub, and then we pull this stuff down on most of these calls. So I'm wondering if there's an issue with communicating there, or if there's any logs that'll tell us more.
Okay.
That shouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if you're having an App Store problem or it's just me. All right, but I'll take it from here. Appreciate it, Brandon. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem. Let's see. We have some other people on the call today. Does anyone else have any questions? I see VT Vitali's on. Um, anyone have questions today? Because I didn't have anything to demo today, other than what I've shown you so far. I think Radley also does this have the page. This might have page data behind it. I think it does. App details. No. I thought it would. It doesn't look okay. So it looks like we source this differently. Oh, okay, it's just okay. So it's just a form tile that we use here. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else other than I'd say let's check logs and I think if there aren't any things in logs, we can open a ticket with the support teams for us to oh he's already gone. Sounds silly. Alrighty. Well then I don't have anything else to demo today, so I think we're good to end it. I want to thank you guys for joining us today. Today's Thursday, so this will be the last lunch and learn for the week. But stop by on Monday. I think we'll have no, I think Will's off next week. Agent, do you know who we have next week for lunch and learn on Monday?
No, I have to schedule that.
Okay. Well, that's going to be a surprise, but we'll have someone pretty knowledgeable in the product like I am to answer any questions you guys have. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, and stay warm. Things are getting chilly, and make sure you're up to date with your flu shots.